Hi guys, and so correct me if I'm wrong. To date, I have counted 18 film adaptations of a literary work by Dickens. Amazing! This is probably one of the most common literary works that the cinema is so fond of. Of course, all 18 film adaptations I would not watch. It's too much. You need to have a huge amount of time to be able to devote yourself to watching these movies. Time is the most precious thing we have. I devote all my time to creating my own documentary, which I will tell you about a little later. Well, now I would like to ask you to write in the comments, did I count correctly? Or are there many more film adaptations of A Christmas Carol? In the description I will indicate the full list of movies that I managed to find. It would be interesting to know what specific film adaptations you liked. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the new movie reaction. Well, now I suggest that we start watching the 1951 film by Brian Desmond Hurst. To make my reaction honest, I didn't specifically study anything about the movie before I started watching it. And the first thing I saw surprised me. I see Clyde Honor in the credits as the film's editor. Interesting, isn't it?
Ah, Mr. Scrooge. Your servant, sir. Are you off home to keep Christmas? I am not in the habit of keeping Christmas, sir.
Mr. Scrooge, sir.
Who are you?
Samuel Wilkins, sir.
No.
But Mr. Scrooge, it's Christmas!
Christmas has even less to do with it, my dear sir, than your wife has or I have. Be off with you.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute.
Why, because it is at Christmas time that want is most keenly felt, and abundance rejoices. What can I put you down for?
I wish to be left alone. If they would rather die, they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, it's not my business.
Why don't you come and see for yourself if you won't take my word for it? Come and dine with us tomorrow.
Fell in love with a woman as penniless as yourself. Oh, good evening.
How is Mrs. Cratchit and all the small assorted Cratchits?
Very well, sir, thank you.
All champing at the bit for Christmas to begin, eh?
Oh, yes, sir. All very eager.
Boy, Tim looks at toys for so long. It's touching to the core.
He'd carry you home on his shoulder. Yes, I love having a ride on his shoulder.
On the one hand, it's hard for me to ignore the fact that I've already seen another version of this story. By the way, the reaction to the 1984 version is here. See the link. Perhaps it would be better if I watched these two films in reverse order. It is pity that this film caught my eye a little later. However, despite the fact the story is familiar to me, I now see a completely different reading. And this is manifested everything, included in details and trifles. I can say that what I see now is very curious.
Thank you, sir. It's more than generous of you, sir.
Yes, I know it is. You don't have to tell me.
Here, super generous.
Merry Christmas, sir. You, a clerk, and 15 shillings a week with a wife and a family, talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to bed.
Sad.
Waiter.
Yes.
More bread.
Take me out.
Yes, it's all about the details.
Jacob, man.
Oh.
It's not scary, it's comical.
You see that toothpick? I do. It's all humbug, I tell you. I do. Why, look at that. I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. Hear me, my time is nearly gone. I come tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. Look to see me no more.
How cinema has changed. Now directors and cameramen have such rich means of expression. Although the paradox is that there are means of expression, but are there any good films? Are there any talented directors? That's the question.
Oh, dear brother, I have come to bring you home. Home. Oh, dear brother, what nonsense. Everyone loves you very much.
And yet, what does this party cost him in your mortal money? 3 or 4 pounds at most.
The happiness he gave to us, his clerks and apprentices, and everybody who knew him, was as great as if it had cost a fortune.
A fortune. Friends, love your family and friends. Human life is so short.
I accept your ring.
Alice. Well, you know what they say about time and tide, Mr. Fezziwig?
Time is the most precious thing we have.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks, can you, Mr. Scrooge? Nor teach the leopard to change its spots. Why, suppose I told you you could get twice the salary old Fezziwig can afford to pay you, and advancement he can't afford to offer you, as a clerk in a new company. What would you say to that, eh?
When you lose loved honors, it is very painful.
Promise me you'll take care of my boy.
You heard her. Forgive me, Fan. Forgive me, Fan.
There is some truth in this, unfortunately.
How did old Fezziwig take it when you said you were leaving him?
The same Marley.
Scrooge, the new clerk, Mr. Jacob Marley, our wizard of the accounts.
Broke?
Isn't that old Fezziwig?
The same Alice you swore to love to all eternity, Ebenezer.
Another idol has replaced me in your heart. A golden idol.
It's singular, the world. But I am not changed towards you.
Aren't you? It'll bring you nothing but...
Why does money affect some people's minds so much? Maybe because they feel immortal. Oh my God, he took the ring. Shame on you.
We're all cutthroats under this fancy linen, Mr. Snedrig.
I must ask you to speak for yourself, Mr. Jorking.
Are you in sympathy with Mr. Jorkin by any chance, Mr. Scrooge?
Not, I confess, with his methods. But Mr. Marley and I have a proposition to make to the representatives of the company, which might solve some of the difficulties to our general advantage.
In short, gentlemen, if you wish to save the fair name of the company by accepting their generous offer, they become the company.
Shame on you.
1% question. Never.
Shame, Ebenezer, shame. A hardened heart is not afraid of anything.
Excuse me, Mr. Scrooge. I'm busy. It's about Mr. Marley. He's dying.
This timeless story that will never get old. God, what cruelty.
Jacob? Well, have they...
It is interesting that Brian Hearst devotes so a large amount of screen time to Marley,
Well, we can't
and also develops the image of Ebenezer in details showing his attitude to money.
He was the only friend you ever had. But what did you feel when you signed the register of his burial and took his money, his house, and his few mean sticks of furniture?
Come in, and know me better, man.
A clerk with him, young son.
It's Bob Cratchit. Kind spirit, say that he will be spared. Why?
Well, my little cock sparrow, here's your own stool by the fire all ready for you.
And ours will be the finest Christmas. God bless us, everyone.
Well, I don't know that our drinking to him will do him much good.
Do you feel more rested now, my dear?
This is Scrooge's ex-fiancée.
Gentle heart.
Spirit, are these people real or are they shadows?
They're real. We're the shadows. Did you not cut yourself off from your fellow beings when you lost the love of that gentle creature? If it's too hard a lesson for you to learn, then learn this lesson. This boy's ignorance...
Ignorance is the greatest of human races.
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Oh my God. God forbid any of us to bury our children. Charles Dickens is a genius. This is a story for all time.
Watch, fob, seal, pencil case, sleeve buttons, brooch.
His blankets,
Who else do you think? He ain't likely to take cold without him, I dare say.
He frightened everybody away from him when he was alive, and now he benefits us when he's dead.
I know those men. They're men of business, very wealthy, very important. Whose funeral were they talking about? I'm not the man I was. Believe me. I'm not the man I was. I'm not the man I was. The spirits must have done everything in one night. Of course, they can do anything, can't they? I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather.
The maid thinks he's gone mad.
Merry Christmas, Mrs. Bilber.
A guinea? Here, what for? Bullshit, Uncle! Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge! In keeping with the situation.
What a beautiful morning.
I think I know who sent it.
Who?
Mr. Scrooge.
Oh dear, whatever made you think it might be him?
Christmas?
Of course, it's Christmas.
Young man, I think.
Can you forgive the pig-headed old fool for having no eyes to see with, no ears to hear with, all these years?
Bravo, Uncle! Bravo! Come on, everybody now! Everybody!
Hatchet, you're late.
It's only once a year, sir. It won't be repeated.
Which leaves me no alternative but to raise your salary. Meanwhile, you just go and put some more coal in that fire. You go straight out and buy a new
Such
coal.
funny grimace.
And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
In short, the films of Brian Hearst and Clive Donner are two completely independent, full-fledged versions of the same story. Given the initial fact that Clive Donner was Hearst's editor, it's safe to say that Clive Donner is a very talented person. His 1984 film is strikingly different from Hearst's. This is a completely different reading. I like that these films are different. Both versions are equally good. It is impossible to single out any one director. And perhaps that is why I want to say once again about Charles Dickens. There is no more famous work dedicated to Christmas in the world literature than A Christmas Carol. Perhaps Dickens could not have imagined what a huge impact this little story would have on the entire world of art, on the worldview of people around the world. Dickens himself is now associated with Christmas, and Ebenezer Scrooge has become both a symbol of Christmas and a synonym for avarice. Dear friend, you have already celebrated Christmas on December 25. Today, on January 7, Christmas is celebrated in Russia. But believe me, there is no difference between believers. There is no difference between us if we wish each other peace, love and kindness. Merry Christmas. God bless us, everyone.